Hi and welcome to the Plumbers of Data Science podcast. I'm your host Andreas Kretz, and today we are talking about bootcamps versus coaching programs. This is a current topic for me because my coaching starts today, and so I thought let's do a podcast where we talk about what's the difference. Because for me now, what I've done in the past days, I've went through my coaching students' CVs, through their goals, and I'm building them a learning plan. Basically, what are the coaching students? We have senior data engineers, we have data analysts, a lead BI analyst, senior consultant, a Python developer, another data analyst, software and data engineer, technical coach, we even have, and another software and data engineer. And so 10 people are in the new coaching. And I thought there are also boot camps, and I want to show you, okay, where's the difference, and then tell you why I'm doing coaching right now and not boot camps. So I've been going through learning plans for them and understood, okay, what are the goals, where do they want to go, what jobs are they aiming for, and then I'm building them a learning plan for this 6 months program where they can join for 6 months our coaching sessions that I do and Roque and Santiago do over the week or over every week. Now, let's look at the pros and the cons. The bootcamp, pros of a bootcamp is you have a structured curriculum, right? You know exactly what you get when you buy this because they have a curriculum with every step of the way and it's completely fixed. Then bootcamp, it's very intensive of the learning, right? It's a short amount of time. They are packing stuff in. If it's sometimes bootcamps are live bootcamps or bootcamps where you actually have to go to. Nowadays also very often online, but this is usually only a few weeks and very, very tightly packaged. Another pro is networking opportunities. There are going to be a lot of people there, and so you most likely can also network with people there and get in touch, figure stuff out, stay in touch afterwards. So this is also a cool pro of a bootcamp. Industry relevant skills is something that they are going to teach you in a bootcamp, so it makes sense. And they often focus on the technical and the practical approach that also I do in the coaching, but later that more about the coaching. It's very often real world engineering tasks. They also do projects there. It's good. Another pro very often with bootcamps is that they are working together with recruiters. They have career services where they are trying to place you afterwards somewhere, and they're helping you get to that. Also, they are very often cost effective. I would say it depends on the bootcamp, but compared to a normal than doing a university degree, especially I know you guys in the US, it's very expensive for you. It's a lot cheaper, but it's shorter, right? And also you have to think about it's way more specialized than a normal program, normal degree. Now the cons. This is for me what I don't want to have my students do, and also what I don't like that much in doing a program. That's why I also decided against a bootcamp, why I do more coaching. The pace is very fast paced. It's a short time, and it can be overwhelming to people. And also, life happens. Sometimes you have to take a short break. There is something in a week, and then you're behind, and then you can never catch up again. Or, at some point, this is going to happen. So this is one of the big problems, the pace of it. Usually also the depth is limited because it's made for everyone. There are a lot of people can't join. It's made for everyone, so you can't go fully in depth everywhere. Right? So broad range of topics, advanced areas sometimes, or only in a few areas. I already mentioned it. It's the one size fits all approach that I personally don't like. It's very difficult to create a program that fits to everyone and teaches them the depth of engineering, for instance. Because like I said, in the program I have from analysts to engineers to trainers or to coaches. So the depth is, or the width is very, very broad on what people are coming with the background. And so if you, let's say you have some super beginners, they most likely cannot keep up with the other people. If you dumb it down to the beginners, the people who are already a bit further in their journey are going to be bored. So the one size fits all approach, I don't know. I don't like that. With job readiness, you have to think of, okay, this is sometimes, this is very often a con, but this also relates to coaching. Very often companies still look for that typical university degree, the classical approach to learning. And so they are not that highly regarded, right, or recognized with companies. Yeah. The last con I had here on my list, quality variation. So you can have a bootcamp that is very good. You can have a bootcamp that is terrible. It's the quality varies a lot. So this is something you need to look at, and you need to basically get a bootcamp that has good reviews, right? So these are the pros and cons of bootcamps. Now let's look at the pros and cons of coaching, because coaching, like I'm not having 50 people in that group or 100. This is 10 people that I have this month. So it's a completely different approach, right? One pro that I like is the tailored learning experience, right? It's a learning experience for everyone. And how I do this, I do a bit of a combination. I create a learning plan for the people, and that learning plan also includes courses of the academy, right? So they can do the basics or learn the basics through the courses and then add to that on top of it, right? So that's usually where the coaching really excels. It's highly personalized learning. We can adjust this to every individual. Of what I really like, it's a lot of work. As I said, I'm doing coaching learning plans for everyone, but the students can go at their own pace, and that is, for me, that is very helpful. That's why I also made this longer. When life happens, you're not left behind. You still have time to do stuff. Hands-on projects is something that I like very much with the coaching approach. People can go hands-on. People can have specifically projects based on their goals. And for me, this is perfect. I had in learning plans that I just created, some people just did Azure, just did AWS as the main thing. Other people I sent on a local journey where they are doing for instance, streaming pipeline with Kafka, Spark, MongoDB. Other people are interested in or coming from the analyst side, and they want to have Snowflake and dbt, and let's say the Lakehouse experience that they want to have. Then I can give them hands-on projects in that regard. So that is I think very, very cool. Also with coaching, you have expert guidance, right? It's not like with the bootcamp where it's one size fits all. You're getting taught everything and then boom, 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 boom. With coaching, you have experts like me, like the guys who helped me, Arokia and Santiago. They are experts in this. They're professionals. They are working in data engineering, and they have the time through the coaching sessions to actually help you. And that, I think, is very, very cool and very helpful for people. Now, also community support is something, or networking, as we mentioned this before, because there are only a few people there and you know each other and you can see each other in the coaching sessions. You can get together and you can connect and you can share your experience, share ideas. We do this also over the Discord server. People can get in touch. So it's really cool. That's why I absolutely like about the coaching. For the student, the flexible scheduling is also nice, right? So it's not just every Friday are the sessions. Yes, of course, the individual coaches only have a few sessions, but you could, for instance, join Arokia on Tuesday, join Santiago on Wednesday, join me on Fridays. And this way you're you're flexible. You don't need to come every week. You need to skip a week, then join next week, right? I think that is very cool. You have usually also with coaching very good resources. And I think with my academy courses with video lessons and source code and so on, I think we're not bad. So that's also a pro. Now the cons, that's actually, the first con is actually not the case right now for me. The higher costs. I think we're very competitive with the coaching price of $1,500 for 6 months. But usually you pay more, especially depending on the coaching that you do. Some coaching programs for CEOs and so on are very expensive, right? Because it's personalized, it's expensive. Commitment required is also a con for people, right? You need to commit to this. You need to say, okay, I'm going to spend the next few months on this. I'm going to keep working on this. It's not like I'm doing a week of or 2 weeks or let's say a month of bootcamp and that's it. It's 3 months, 6 months, depending on your pace and depending on what you want to learn. So you need to have commitment, and the success basically only works for people who are there, who commit to this. So people need to attend sessions. People need to engage over Discord, for instance, right? Ask questions in the sessions. That is a con for a lot of people, I know. This comes together with that it's usually intense, right? In your day-to-day work, you need to juggle multiple things. You need to work on your projects. You might need to fulfill a deadline. And so it's very intense then also do the coaching. That is something you need to keep in mind, and that for a lot of people is a downside. Yeah. Also, of course, like a coaching, this is specific for data engineering, for instance. So it's not for data scientists. So it's always very specific for the niche, and that depends. That is the next one is compared to the commitment required. You need to it depends on self-learning and self-motivation, right? We can guide you, we can show you the way, but you actually have to walk it. You have to go through the material, do the projects. You have to always motivate yourself to do this. So it's very self-driven, self-learning. Yeah. So these are the pros and cons of the bootcamp, pros and cons of the coaching. For me, the cons of the bootcamp outweigh a lot the cons of the coaching. Yes, coaching is more specialized, it takes more effort, but I think the results are better for the students because it's a lot more tailored to their goals, tailored to their experience, which I really like. Now, this was all from a student perspective. Now, let's look at this from a perspective of someone like me, someone who is actually doing the coaching, somebody who is actually doing the bootcamp. Let's quickly go through this. Let's say bootcamp leaders. Yes, they can reach more students with this. Right? You can easily, if you have a good bootcamp, you can send through 100 students and you can reach a lot of people with the bootcamp, and you can help more people. Now the level of helping, that's on another plate, but you can help more people. It's very consistent because the material is always the same. The bootcamp is going to be always the same. It's every week the same thing for every group. It's consistent for the leader. Sometimes a bit boring, but that's a good thing. It's very efficient, again, because it's repeating always the same stuff. Sometimes it's also for the branding good, right? Because the bootcamp is recognized and people know what they get from the bootcamp. This way you can sell it. Now, some cons of this. So running the bootcamp has expenses, right? People who help you run the bootcamp, but also very often with bootcamps, they supply the actual platforms that people learn on, people work on. For me in the coaching, people have their own AWS. In a bootcamp, people usually expect to have access to AWS, to Snowflake, to whatever, to work there and not set up their own platforms. So the costs are higher. Also with the cons, I mentioned this multiple times, mixed student results, right? Large groups, hard to ensure the student success because of the large groups, because you don't have time that you can spend with the students, which I personally don't like. They have different background and different abilities, which makes it difficult to be a success for everyone. Less flexibility, right? The bootcamp is fixed. You almost have no flexibility for people throughout the process to help them in a specialized way or in a custom way. Competition is tough. There are a lot of bootcamps out there. So setting up the perfect bootcamp is difficult. Well, I guess for us in the data engineering space, not that much. But for, let's say, marketing or something, it's tough. Also a con, but that con is also, I would say, for the coaching, you have the pressure of success, right? You're expected to help people find jobs, gain experience. And also for bootcamps, especially if you have 100 students, the pressure is very high, because in the back of your mind, you need to remember, okay, I need to help 100 students, which for me as a coach, I don't have. I know I have 10 students, I can support them. This month it's going to be fine. And then next month when 10 more join, and then the month after that when 10 more join, we can scale up our sessions. And so we can have the groups in each session short. But I'm already getting ahead of myself. So pressure of success is one of the things. Now with the coaching, this is all for bootcamps. Let's talk about the coaching again. What are the pros for somebody like me, a coaching leader? Now, personalized learning. I can tailor this to every student needs, and I know that this way I'm more effective and they learn stuff in a shorter time. And I know that this is what really helps them. This is something for me. So I know I'm feeling good because I know I'm helping everyone. I can help them. Also, the pro with the coaching is that the teaching can be flexible. So we can make changes throughout. Right? I can change my methods throughout the coaching. Like if I a few years ago when I started the coaching, I didn't have these kind of interactive boards, Miro boards. Then I found out, okay, people need to have an interactive board where they can draw stuff, where they can sketch stuff, where they can have a list of topics that they are going to do, where I can within the coaching sessions sketch something. So the teaching, the methods can be flexible. It's also a close relationship to the student, right? You are going to learn to know students because there are not that many. There are not 100 students. I could never remember any of the 100 students, most likely. This way, you remember people and you can actually really get to know them, get to know their problems and help their problems really well. Higher earning potential. This is something that actually I found online. Coaching is often seen more valuable than a bootcamp. And this way, more valuable, higher earning, or getting a job easier. I think that is something that is for them helpful and is good for me as a coaching leader to sell the coaching. Now, for me as a coach, one of the big upsides, and also for Aroka and Santiago who are doing the coaching, is we're staying more relevant, right? We can adapt changes in the industry. We can keep up to date with problems that students have. And this way, people are always going to come with new problems, come with new topics. And this way we are realizing, okay, this is a problem. We actually need to go out and we need to fix this problem and help people fix this problem. And for me, for instance, this would be something that, nowadays a lot of people come with this problem. Let's build a course for my academy around this, right? So it's a big pro staying relevant. Otherwise, for me, because I no longer work in a job, it's difficult to keep updated and keep on the, let's say, on the pulse of data engineering. Now, there are cons, right? The reach is limited. I can only work with a limited amount of people. And this way I can't reach, or I can't work with 100 or 1,000 students within a year. So here's one thing. Generally with the coaching, the income is variable. there are only a few students and you need to fill the slots to make an income. But it's not a big deal because I don't have these huge groups. So this month, for instance, we filled the 10. I hope next month we also get 10 students. That would be really cool. One of the cons, let's say on time, this is something that I'm always struggling with. And in the beginning, when I did one-on-one session and not group sessions, this was really difficult. It's very time intensive, right? Coaching requires a lot of time and effort. You can get burned out here. Like this is, as a coach, this can get difficult. So that's why I packaged this together with, like, you get the coaching and you go the coaching sessions where we help you, but you have a learning plan that leads you through stuff that is also in the academy. And then you can come back with questions on this and we can help you on that material. This way it's still very customized, but also has that factor of, okay, we don't need to teach everyone that basic thing that everyone needs, right? So we can have projects that are prepared and then send you there. You do the projects and then you modify the project, and there are then coming new questions around. So time intensive is something. One thing that was for me very difficult in the beginning, that is a big con with coaching, it depends very much on the student effort, right? You can do as much as you want. If the student is not motivated, if the student doesn't stay with it, if the student quits when it gets difficult, and it always gets difficult, for you, you're helpless. You can't do anything. And so you have people dropping out of the program. And like, this is something was in the beginning something very difficult for me, because like, you're doing your best and people are dropping out. Like, what's the problem? Because students are not putting in the effort. They are not staying with the program. They are, like, how did I call this? Dependence on self-learning, right? Committing to the program. That is something that only the best students have. And I can tell you, I had a lot of people in the coaching over the years. The best students who got the job, who were successful, these were the people who were staying with the program, who were going through the material, who are showing up at the coaching sessions. So that is something I had to learn to live with. And I think also Arokia and Santiago have to learn how to live with this. I guess it's normal. High responsibility, of course, because I know the people. It's not like I have 100, 200 people that I teach. I know everybody personally. I created them the learning plan. I'm seeing them in the coaching sessions. We're talking one-on-one. And this way, it's very high responsibility for me. It's a pressure to help them, and because I want to help them. Right? So for me, again, so these were the pros and cons for coaches. And for bootcamp leaders. For me, I can't see the upside of the bootcamp, and also from a money perspective, it's very strong. As somebody who has a company and needs to make money, bootcamps are good, right? You have the tailored bootcamp. You're sending 100 people through. It's always the same bootcamp. It's easy to sell. You're making money. It's boom, 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 boom. But then on the other side, it's not very tailored to the student, and the success of the student is a question. You're sending them through. They're coming with very different backgrounds, and you don't have the time to talk with everyone and give everybody the best effort. That outweighs the things with the coaching, that it's not big groups. You're not making that much money with it. Although you could say 1,500 address, what are you talking about? But let's say the bootcamp is 2K or 1.5K, and you send 100 people through. This is easier than have it 1.5K and sending 10 people through. But for me, it outweighs knowing I can help people better, knowing this is customized for people. I know the students, I can help them. Outweighs the things like It's time consuming. It can burn you out. It's a limited reach of people. You make less money with this. This outweighs for me the thing that putting out this big boot camp where people might get away from this in 3 months or 2 months and say, okay, just another thing. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, if you're interested in the coaching, check out learndataengineering.com. You can now get on the wait list for this. And we're going to open it in 4 or 5 weeks. I said end of September, beginning of October, we're going to take a new group of people. Most likely, again, 10 people. We're limiting this to 10. And yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. So keep this in mind. If you listen to this as somebody who needs to decide between coaching and bootcamp, maybe go back to this, listen to this again, write down the important stuff for you. I hope this was helpful for you. See you next week.